guys, I just wanted to shoot a quick video on something that I was running into until I read the owner's manual and figured it out. So I'm gonna shoot this video to help you guys out. But just in case, if you are noticing your speed, so when you push this lever right here and the speed isn't quite picking up as fast as you want it to, or maybe you're hitting a small hill and it's kind of like taking a second to like engage or go up, or it's not going up as strong as you think that it should, this mower climbs hills like a billy goat. If it's not, this video might be exactly what you need. So I'm gonna walk you through 2.5 steps, and you'll see why I say 2.5 steps. 2.5 steps on fixing that like super quick. So first step is if you're having troubles with your speed, not picking up fast enough, there's this bolt right here and this cable. So this cable is attached obviously to this lever right here. This, before I did the fix, was very, very loose. It was like when you push this, it was like super loose. You want it to be like, you don't want it to be like tight, but you don't want it to be like loose. I don't know. However you explain that. So anyways, this barrel right here, this barrel nut or sleeve right here is gonna be your first focus. So the way that I tightened this and the way that I helped this situation was this nut right here. So first off, you wanna loosen this. Not all the way, but just loosen it enough so that like this isn't super tight. Because right now with it tight, like I can't even turn it. So you wanna loosen this by just a little bit to relieve some pressure. You want to turn it this way. If you're looking up at it, counterclockwise, because that's gonna bring this barrel down. You wanna see that, this threaded section, you wanna see that going down. So you're gonna want to turn this that way, okay? So when you're turning it that way, it's going to be tightening up this cable. So that should fix most everybody's. Mine was, when I first put it together, it was sticking out to about here. So about like 1/4 of an inch that I moved it, maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, something like that. So it's nearing the end. But the nice thing about these is once they hit a certain tightness, like they shouldn't be stretching too much more. So once you do this first break-in, stretch, tighten thing, this should be about the last time that you have to do it. But just in case you need to do it again, you still have a little bit more threads. So this is kind of like first step that I would take. This should cure most everything. This should tighten it up. Should be a really nice tight action. So as soon as I push this, that lever goes down, it's good. The reason why I took off this cover is I'm gonna show you the second step. So if that does not work, or you're at the very end of your barrel nut, this is going to be your second place that you go. So took off the cover. This is the drive axle, drive shaft that runs the chains, and then it runs the motor and all that stuff. So this right here is gonna be like your clutch lever system. You saw when I pulled this right here, it moves that. So that is like your clutch system. The reason why I say 2.5, that's one. Or where's it at? That is number one. Number two is actually not this yet. And the reason why I say 1/2 and not this yet is in the owner's manual, this is kind of like last effort. You should not ever have to move this. You can. There still is threading right here. So if this next fix doesn't work, this is your very last ditch effort, but you should not ever get to this point. If you get to this point, your cable's like super stretched, you should probably call Lee. This is like if you have to get to the end of this just to stretch this cable out, like there's some other issue going on, they could probably troubleshoot. But so that's like the 1/2 option. That's like super, super last case. The second option is, and the reason why I have this cover off as well, I wanted to show you, but that bolt right down there, this bolt in the owner's manual is letter A. So it is like the clutch lever bolt. So that's letter A in the owner's manual when you get to like the clutch tightening system. That is the same bolt or the through bolt of that. So that attaches to that right there. So in this next step, again, this is going to be step number 2. If this is all the way tightened, this is step number 2, is tightening this by putting a 13 millimeter wrench right here and a 13 millimeter socket right there so that doesn't spin. But tightening this ever so slightly to just tighten this up. Again, it's not going to be this. It's going to be this right here. Tighten this up, and that will tighten up like the clutch. It will tighten up this whole system to where with this cable being tight and that being tight, it should like go straight back to normal. And you can do this too tight. Don't ask me how I know, but you can tighten this way too tight. And the way that you know that it's too tight is if the mower, if you push it without pushing this lever, if you push this forward and you can't push it forward, that means it's like engaged and the clutch is way too tight, and that is way too tight. So you want to loosen it until it can move on its own. Again, if you cannot push it forward, then it's too tight. Without pushing this in, if you can't push it forward, it's too tight. If you can push it forward, you're good. So you want to kind of ride that edge of being too tight and not too tight. So more times than not, again, that is tightened up. Second option and second step, if that's tightened up all the way, is to tighten this slightly, and that will take care of it. Again, if that sequence does not work and you're still having issues, you can tighten this ever so slightly. Or I would say a good case for maybe utilizing this instead of this is if maybe you've loosened this and you just like can't get this thing tight. It isn't too grippy, so your hand can kind of slip on it. So maybe you don't have a good grip on this and you just can't get it up there. Then you last resort could come and like tighten it up a couple of threads just to tighten up that cable, and then go right here and tighten that up until it can move on its own, right? So hopefully that helped, but that is how you make the speed or even tighten up any other cables like this. But that is how you control like the speed action. So if it's a little bit too laggy for you or not going up hills, good enough for you, focus on that. Focus on tightening this cable. That's probably your issue. So hopefully that helped. It helped me. I got to mow that hill right there today. Pretty excited about it. And then you can see my front yard starting to green up. But I've got some hills. So hopefully you can see like the angle of that. But if this isn't working, I definitely know. But it helped me. Hopefully it helps you. So see you guys.